Assalamu alaikum guys, I hope you're doing well. So in my previous video I have shown you how to use nmap, and in this video I will demonstrate to you how to use Hydra, which is a password cracking tool. It actually is an online password cracking tool that you can use to crack passwords. So in this quick video I would demonstrate to you how to use Hydra. So let's get started. So let's open up our terminal. Okay, so in order to use Hydra, just type in Hydra -h for getting the help. So as you can see, what are the options available with Hydra? You can use, and you have some examples at the end, which gives you how you can leverage Hydra for password cracking. So I'm here to walk you through from beginner to advanced. So the simple way to use a Hydra is okay. So in my previous video I showed you how to use nmap. Okay, so let's start by pinging my metasploitable Linux. Yep, I am able to reach my metasploitable Linux. So let's use nmap nmap, and I want to see whether port 21 is open or not. So I'll just check, and it is open, which is an FTP service running on port 21. So I want to crack password for this port. So how do I use Hydra for it? Okay, so if you want to perform a single username password attack with Hydra, then you can use Hydra -l, where you can pass your username, then -p, where you can pass the password, and then the server address, and then the service. Okay, so in this example I am trying to use Hydra for single username. Let's say I know the username MSF admin. I know this is not realistic, but we're just building up on the basics. Okay, in case you want to test it out whether the password and the username that you are trying to log into a particular service is actually working or not, then yeah, you can use this. So -l for the username and -p for the password, and then the server. So in this case it is 192.168.23.129. This is the IP address of the metasploitable Linux, and the service. So I'm trying to crack password for the FTP, file transfer protocol service, that is running on port 21. That's it. So it's Hydra -l for the username, -p for the password and the IP address and the service which you are trying to crack password for. This could be SSH, HTTP, any other protocol. So in the example, we're just trying to use FTP. And like you see here, if you notice over here, this what it gives you the confirmation that we are able to log in to that FTP on port 21 with login ID as MSF admin and password as MSF admin. So this was a use for a single username and single password against a server for a specific service that is running on. Okay, so let's just say that you want to perform a password spring attack. Okay, so what is a password spring attack? It's basically you know a password, but you do not know the username. Okay, so what you're trying to do is you're using the same password against a number of users. Okay, so to use is very simple. Um, Let me just copy it. All right. So you have Hydra. Previously, we use lowercase l for passing the specific username that you know. In case if you're using a list, so here you can use capital L and you can pass on the users.txt or any text file where you have all the users names, and then small p for passing the password, and then you can pass the server IP address against which you are trying to attack. So in our case it is 192.168.23.129, and I'm doing it against FTP, so I have put the service as FTP, and then you can hit enter. Okay, so I have already created text file user.txt with a username. So you can create a text file with all the username if you're trying to use password spring. So that's simple it is, and I'll hit enter. And as you can see, it gives you the confirmation that your login is msfadmin and password is msfadmin, and you can get the confirmation that this user, you can use it to gain access to that particular account. Okay, so this was an example of using password spring attack. Now next is how to perform a dictionary attack with Hydra. So this is something realistic, because in dictionary attack you use a word list which has a list of users name and a list of password, because in real life we do not know the username and the password, and this is something realistic that you can use. So I have already created my users.txt and also a password. So these are the dummy username and the password that I have created for demonstration purposes. But again, you can maintain your own users list and the password list, and you can get this from internet. There's a very famous password list called rockq.txt. So you can get it from the internet, or also you can maintain your own password, and you can use this in a pen testing environment. So for demonstration purpose, I'm just created my own username and the password for simplicity. So in dictionary attack, how to perform a dictionary attack? So you use capital L and you pass on the list of users, and then you use a capital P, and then you pass on the password, and then the IP address to which you are performing. So in this case, it is 192.168.23.129, and the service that I'm trying to attack is FTP. So this is an example of a dictionary attack. So where I have the list of username and the list of password, This is the server IP and the specific service that I'm trying to attack. So as you can see, I have Hydra has confirmed that one target successfully completed, one valid password found, and there's the login ID here and the password over here. So this is an example of how to perform a dictionary attack with Hydra. Next is how do you save your results in Hydra? So it's very simple. You just use Hydra and the username, password, IP, and you add -o, and you can give the file name where you can get the result of the test. So I will use the previous example which we used, and we'll just use -o, and I'll just say output dot txt, and I'll just run it. And I can just cat on look into output.txt, and I can see the result is saved over here. The port, the service, and the host IP, the login name, and the password is all over there. So this is how you save the output results in Hydra. Alright, there is other way you can use Hydra, like the way we were doing Hydra, username, password, and we were using the service over here. You can alternatively use in this fashion as well, ftp colon, and that would also give you the same result. Okay, so this is also another way to use Hydra. So the next topic is how to resume attacks in Hydra. So it's very simple. So when the attack is running in Hydra and you use Control C to cancel it, you can resume that by using Hydra -R to resume the previous one. Sessions. Okay. How to use custom ports? Okay. So in order to use custom port, all you have to just append is -s, and you can give the port number. So this thing will come in handy. Let's say you did an nmap against a particular host, and you found out that the FTP is running on some different port. It's not on 21, but let's say it's running on some another different port, let's say 300 or something else. So how do you use Hydra on that specific port, custom ports? So it's very simple. So in Hydra, you can pass your username and password and the service name, and you can just you can just pass on S and give the port number which you are trying to attack on. So let's say if it is running on 300, so you can just put -s 300, and your Hydra will attack on that particular custom port instead of 21. So that's the use of how to use custom port with -s. Alright, so next topic we want to cover is how to attack multiple hosts. Okay, so let's say you have another host running and you want to use, so it's very simple. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna be using -m. You're gonna be using -m instead of the host over here, and what you're going to do is you can use -m, and then you can pass the host .txt, and where in this file you'll have all kind of hosts that you want to run Hydra on. Okay, so this is how you use Hydra on multiple hosts. All right, and so the next topic is how to use targeted combinations. So for targeted combination, we use Hydra -c, but do remember that when you use combination, the username, the file that you are passing, the file name that you are passing should contain username and password in this fashion. Okay, so if you have maintained a file where you have username, password separated by a colon in this fashion, you can use -c, and you can pass that file name, and that should give you the same result like any other command that we're using. But that's the way how to use targeted combination. So I feel these are some of the important Hydra command that you're gonna be needing during performing any kind of pen testing. So yeah, let's recap once again. So if you're trying to perform a single host username password, maybe you're guessing it, like you know this for sure, you want to test it out, you can use Hydra -l, you can pass it the username, -p, you can pass it your password, then you can pass it your server IP and which service you are trying to attack, whether it is SSH or FTP or any other service that you're trying to attack. Now, how to perform a password spring attack? Spring attack is like when you know a password but you do not know the username. So you are trying that password against various usernames. So your usernames will be saved in a text file. Let's say users.txt, and remember to use capital L when you're using text file, and same goes for password. You're going to use capital P when you're passing a text file. Okay, so in a password spring attack, you know the password, so you have just used small p and you have to pass on the password, and then you have a list of users you're passing to, and then you have a server IP and the specific service that you're trying to attack. How to perform dictionary attack? In dictionary attack, you do not know the username, neither the password, which is a realistic scenario. So you maintain your list of users, list of password, and you're going to use -l and -p, both are in capital, and then you have the username and the service that you are trying to attack. How do you save your users? How the results in Hydra is the same. You just use -o and you can pass the file where you want to store the output. Okay, you can alternatively use in this fashion. Instead of passing the service at the end, you can use it in this fashion: SSH : / and the IP address. This service could be anything. It could be FTP or any other services that you're trying to attack. How to resume attack? Let's say you have a Hydra attack running, and if you have canceled it, and if that is got stored in the resume file, then you can resume it by using the -R. And the second last is how to use custom ports. If you want to use custom port, which is also a realistic scenario, because sometimes the administrator there would move the ports to a different custom port. They don't use the default ports. So you can use -s for any custom port that you're trying to attack. So it's the same. -l for username, password, IP, services, and you will just be adding minus small s, and you can pass the port number where you are trying to attack. And the last one is how to use multiple attacks. So the same, you just use capital M and you can pass the host file name to which host you're trying to attack. If you want to use a target combinations, then you have to maintain a file in this fashion, username with colon the password, and you can use -c to use the targeted combination. So I believe this should be enough for you to get your hands dirty with Hydra, and let me know what else tools you want the tutorial on, and I'll see you guys in another video. Until next time, Assalamu alaikum.